Alrighty, guys, it is 3:30 this Wednesday, August 27th. Time to wrap it up. And we are net to the upside for sure. The volume weighted mean is holding. We had a couple of rundowns, and this last one was nothing but spectacular, man. As one of those which you just wish you can get on. And Nasdaq, I was watching it. I was just looking for a better opportunity. I missed it. I let it run away from him, and I did not want to chase it. It's just it's one of these things. I'll show you in a second. But man, this was some kind of a run, and then of course a little flush at the end, right back to the mean, and then the snap back after that. So. We are a lot of volatility setting up going into this afternoon. And so the big deal tomorrow or tonight or this afternoon after the close is going to be the Nvidia earnings. It's going to set the stage for a lot of things. Chances it's going to probably set the stage for tomorrow's trading as well. So I'm watching that very carefully. And at this point, uh, that's going to be the big thing to watch. Now, looking at the news for tomorrow, notwithstanding Nvidia. We have a GDP and jobless claims and corporate profit all at 8:30. You get pending home sales at 10, nat gas report at 10:30, and 7-year auction at 1. So GDP, jobless claims going to be the big ones there. And that's going to be, but it's probably going to be overshadowed by the Nvidia reaction. What's going to happen with that? So, all right, so that's Thursday. And I would start off range bound. I would start with a bias to the upside the way we look right now, but that's just a big caveat. Anything can change after the earnings comes out. It could be a big reaction to the upside, to the downside. It can go either which way. So I'm not, but that the structure right now is pointing higher. And if they start taking out that 6470s, I'll take off the short bias or sort of the long bias and go back range bound. So that's kind of the dynamic right now. So looking to buy against the 85s, the 70s, 70, 75 to 80s, and the 75 and the 70s here for rotations back up, and these three support areas. And if they can trade below that, we are back range bound. Big caveat depending on what happens with the Nvidia earnings. No trades on the ES so far. I did take a couple of trades on the Nasdaq. Before I get there, the bond market. Bond market is not doing much. They were down this morning. They're back up again. They're still staying in pretty much in that range. Don't think that's going to be a big reaction on Nvidia earnings when it comes to the bond market. So I would stay range bound on the bond market going into the overnight. And the Nasdaq, this is going to be the crazy one. It's going to be the one which is going to be that's absolutely fly all over the place. And but we are starting off on the long side. Watch that lower level. If this starts trading below the, at this point, I would say that the 470s, given how far they took it in the day session. I think the better support there is going to be at the 530s. But if they start blowing through that one and the 470s, bets are off. We are back range bound. Bias to the upside is gone. But we are right up here testing resistance at the 650s. This pop to the upside, I was watching it, and this is the setup right there. I totally missed it, and I was watching it on the way down here. So, and what you're watching for a little big pop like this, everyone is going to hop on the long side, and especially when this starts happening, this outside bar starts trading higher, hop on the long side. You have to find yourself, okay, it's not going anywhere. And as they start trading lower here, here's your entry. And the conservative entry would be around about the 648, 45 to 48 short. If you want to be really aggressive, you can trade when this one starts trading up higher, but you don't know yet if it's going to fail or not. So at this point, you're taking a shot at it, but you're up against resistance at the 650s. That's where you are, and then it's either going to fail or you're going to see it and blow straight through it. So I would be a little bit less. I would not be super aggressive. I would trade a little bit more conservatively. But I was looking at this on the way down here, so I was watching it. Okay, I'm looking for rotation up. They got barely one right there, barely an S, and I missed that one too. So, but you can see it. There was absolutely no lift at all, and they took it all the way down. And then, of course, the flush here right below the mean, and then some. So this is just gnarly. I would love to be on that trade, but it's. As I said, you kind of had the first retest failure here is not necessarily tradable super aggressively, but as it starts trading lower, you're looking for that little rotation up. The only thing you got is this one here that barely happened. If you had gotten a little bit better rotation up, that would have been your short entry. You leave your stop outside that rotation. That would have been great. But so far, they didn't quite set up. They just took that lower with a vengeance. So there you go. But this is one that's going to be the one to watch for the earnings report. All right. And then finally, oil and gold. Gold is to the upside. They're holding that 60. They are holding that 60, the 34, 23, 20, 22, 23s. They're holding 34s. We are leaning long to get started. I watch these single print ages. If that comes out, it starts trading below it, I will be back range bound. But I would still look to buy against the 42, the 33s down to that 23, 24s right now. A little bit less aggressively if they take out the single prints, but we'll see. So gold, big reaction could happen on this guy as well. But I would start from the long side on gold. And I would start range bound on oil. So oil is just going back and forth in a range. They were up quite a bit. They backed off a little bit. Now they traded back up a little bit. They could not take out that 64.20s. So not necessarily about that, but we said go back to lean towards the long side, see if they can retest these highs. So far, nothing's happening there. They're kind of backing off, trading back down again. So range bound oil at this point look to sell strength against the 64.20s, 64.50s. Rotations down, look to buy weakness, 63.60s, 63.30s down to the 62.90s. Rotations back up. All right. So oil, I haven't traded oil or gold today. The only thing I've taken is those two NASDAQ trades. And I'm really bummed out. I missed that. Well, I didn't necessarily miss it. I just kind of didn't find the location I wanted for my setup on the NASDAQ. And I has to show you that again. That is, so you have this big run up here, and you know it's either going to keep going and you're going to just keep freaking running it, or you're going to get one of these and it just stalls and then fails. But in default trade, failure to take out resistance is just the classic setup right there. Run right into it, backs off, attempt to take it higher, starts failing. Short entry is run about here. You can have you stop outside that rotation, not lose too much money if you're wrong. And this one would have given you yielded in beautiful trade. But and again, the other option would have been entering it on that rotation up, but it, as I said, happened too quick. And I didn't want to chase it on the way down. When you do that, that's usually when you get that rotation right back against you. So you don't want shitty trade location. They get better trade location or missing the trade. But you can see here they're trading it right back up again. So we will see how this whole thing shakes out in about half hour or so when the earnings starts coming out. All right, back to the ES and let's wrap it up for today. The ES is also right back up again. So nice flush, right back up again. Let's see what's going to happen. All right, guys, get ready for some excitement. But I will see you guys back in bright and early in the morning. Then we'll see how the fallout turned out and what to expect. All right, guys, later.